Good morning, grade 1. So today I decided to make a video so we can revise the genres that we took. Okay, we all know that the genre is the kind of story. What type of story are we reading? Okay, in Unit 2, we took informational text. We read around 3 different types of informational text. So if you guys don't remember, an informational text is a real story. Okay, so informational text is a real story about a real person, place, or thing. Right? It says here, an informational text tells about a real person, place, or thing. That means it gives you facts. It gives you information about a person, place, or thing. And it has a main idea. The main idea is what the story is mostly about. When you read the whole story, what is the whole story telling you about? That would be the main idea, or some people call it the central idea. The story that we read, the first informational text we read, was about frogs, the life of a frog, and we read about the life cycle of it. Okay, here is a sample or a short informational text of the life cycle of a butterfly, where it starts as an egg until it becomes an adult butterfly. The title, From Egg to Butterfly. The title is the name of the story, okay, and sometimes it can give you what the topic is mostly about. Okay, as you start reading, it says, for example, a butterfly goes through 4 stages. First, it is an egg. Next, it is a caterpillar. Then it builds a chrysalis, and finally, it is a butterfly. Okay, so here in this short informational text, we found the title, which gives you an idea about the topic of the story. Okay, it's here. The first sentence gives you the main idea. So the main idea, what is the story going to be mostly about? It's about the stages that a butterfly goes through from the time it hatches all the way until it becomes an adult butterfly. Okay, so the main idea here is a butterfly goes to 4 stages. And the other details that are highlighted here in blue are called the supporting details. Details or from the story that support or helps you understand or find the main idea. Okay? And as you see here, it's in a chronological order. That means these are the order of the life cycle of a butterfly. Okay, if you look at the anchor chart, you'll see that the title usually names the topic. What is the story about? Okay, main idea or the central idea is what the story is mostly about. And then you have details in the story that tells you more about the main idea. Okay, so that's the first informational text. All right, in the second informational text we read, it's the same thing. It's a real story that tells you about a real person, place, or thing. It gives you information. Here we added the chronological sequence, right? Again, we took the life cycle of a plant, the sunflower. Here we have the steps, first, second, third, fourth, but we use words such as first, next, then, later on, finally. So chronological order means to put something in a sequence, in order. So, and we also start to discuss the purpose of reading an informational text. What is the reason? What is the goal of reading an informational text? To learn or to get information about a topic. So in our first story, we learned and we got information about the life cycle of an animal, the frog, and the second, we learned or we got information about the life cycle of a plant, such as the sunflower. Okay, the author sometimes can use something called text features. The author or the writer uses things to help us understand the story better. in the story about the frog and in the story of the life cycle, what did the author use besides the events and the sentences? He used real photos, right? We saw real pictures of the eggs and the tadpoles and the young frog, and then the frog when it became an adult. In the second story, we saw the seeds of the sunflower, and then when the seed was planted and it started to sprout, to open. So the author can use text features, okay, such as real photos. Can he use also the diagram? A diagram is a picture with labels, okay? We also took diagram in the language arts. A diagram is a picture with name of each part. And we, in our story here, we took a diagram of the life cycle of the sunflower. Okay, and the author sometimes would use something called description. He used words to describe or tell what the sunflower or what something is like. Is it big? Is it small? Is it cold? Is it wet? Here is an example of showing the trees. What is the trees like when it's in summer, when it's rainy? The trees are different, right? In winter, there are no leaves. In spring, it starts to open and the flowers start to bloom. In fall, the leaves start to fall again, change color and start to fall because of the cold weather. And then here it just starts to, all the leaves fall down again. Okay. Here is another thing that the author sometimes uses. He uses a glossary at the end of the story or at the end of the book. Sometimes he will add a glossary. What is the glossary used for? It's used for to give you the meaning of words that you might not know, so you can have a better idea, a better understanding of the story. So a glossary is at the end of the book. It tells you the meaning of words that you can find in the story. Where do you find the glossary? At the end of the book. Okay. Here is the third informational text. Also informs you the same thing. The informational text is a real story. It gives you facts or information about a topic. Okay, the purpose is to get information about a real topic. Okay, again, the main idea is the central idea of what the story is mostly about, and we have details that support the main idea. Supporting details that tells you more about the main idea. Okay. In Unit 3, we started taking traditional stories. Again, what is the meaning of traditional? Traditional means that the story is from a long time ago. That means the story is old. The word tradition means something that we do the same way every single year. Okay, like in your birthday, a common tradition is people celebrate their birthday by making a party. They decorate their house or they decorate the place they will make the party in. They order a cake, they invite their friends, and they celebrate their birthday. This is a tradition, something that you do every year. Okay, most in the same way. In Christmas, some people decorate the Christmas tree. This is a tradition people do every year to celebrate this holiday. So one of the traditional stories that we took is folktale. A folktale is an old traditional story. Okay, it has been told over and over again. Okay, that's why I asked you, do you guys know any stories? You guys noticed the story about Little Red Riding Hood. We heard it before, right? Where the wolf tried to trick the girl that was going to visit her grandmother. So a folktale is an old traditional story. It has been told over and over again. And because it's from a long time ago, you'll find words such as once, once or once upon a time or a long time ago. these are words that show you that the story is old. What else? In a folk tale, you'll find a tricky character, a character or an animal that usually tries to cause a problem or tries to do something to another animal or another person. Okay, here we have the story about the tricky wolf, and it says here, long ago a girl goes to visit her grandma. So long ago shows you that the story is old. And what's happening here? The girl is going to visit her grandma. On the way, she meets a wolf. The wolf wants to catch the girl, so he pretends to be her grandmother. But the girl runs away. Okay, so again, a folk tale is an old story. It has been told over and over again, usually by word of mouth. Means people used to tell each other, the children, these stories by mouth, because they didn't have books at that time, maybe. Okay, and there's usually a tricky character. A folk tale. What are some things that you should know about folk tale? It's a short story. It might have a problem. It might have a lesson or a moral. Okay, many people know it because this has been told for many, many years. So a lot of people know the story. And it has a tricky character. Did we take another traditional? Yes, we took a fable. Okay, a fable is also an old traditional story. It's short and usually teaches you a lesson. Okay, so folk tales and fables are very close. Let's just remember that in a folk tale, there's a tricky character or a problem to know the difference. So a fable is a type of traditional story. It's short, usually has animal characters because they like to make it fun for the kids. Okay, and at the end there's usually a lesson. You learn a lesson from the story. And we said a moral is like a theme or an idea to teach the children how to behave in a proper way or in a good way. Like, for example, not to lie, not to make fun of your friend. Okay. Here we read the story about the tortoise and the hare. And the problem here is that the hare is the rabbit and the tortoise is the turtle. Okay. The hare wanted to race the tortoise because he knows he's a fast runner. Okay, so the hare started to run very quickly and he found the tortoise all the way in the back because he knows the tortoise is very slow. So he took a nap. So the hare is fast and the tortoise slow. So this would be the problem in the story. Okay, during the race, hare takes a nap. So he knows that he can take a nap and the tortoise will be all the way in the back because he's very slow. So while he's napping, the tortoise passes him and wins the race. So what is the moral of the lesson? Slow and steady wins the race. When you do something slow and in a steady way, you always succeed or you do something well. Like, for example, I tell you guys, you can race, you can make a competition, who you can take out your book fast, you can go to class first after break. But when you answer a worksheet or when you answer a quiz, you have to answer it slow and steady so you don't make any mistakes. All right. We also took another genre called poetry. Okay? Poetry is different from a story. It is not written in paragraph. Paragraph is a group of sentences. No, poetry is written in lines. Okay? And you usually have rhyming words. Rhyming words are usually found at the end of the line. Okay? What's the meaning of rhyming words? Words that have the same ending sound. Okay? So they sound the same at the end. Like kite and night. Bite and light. Cat and rat. They sound the same. Not in the beginning of the word. No, at the end. What else? We took the word rhythm, and I sent you a video about rhythm, the beat, okay? The part where we stress on the word, and then you clap to each beat, all right? Okay. We also took another poem at the end. The last week we took a poem where we learned the word repetition. Repetition means words or phrases that are said again and again. Okay, like for example, imagine that, imagine that. Or in our poem about me, I'm happy to be me. And the poet used it twice, right? Here in a song about row, row, row your boat, the word row was repeated not twice, 3 times. Row, row, row your boat. This is called repetition. We also took the word alliteration. Alliteration, sometimes in one line, the poet can use words with the same sound. Like here, a chick that cheers. Chick and cheers begin with the same ch sound. Horse in a hat. Horse and hat, they begin with the same sound. We also read the poem about the box, where there were several words where alliteration was used. Okay, so a poem is a writing. Okay, it's written in lines, not in sentences. They have rhyming words. They have rhythm. Sometimes you'll find repetition, words that are repeated, and sometimes you'll find alliteration, words that begin with the same beginning sound. So rhyme and alliteration are different. Rhyming words have the same ending sound. Alliteration have the same beginning sound. Okay, and one of the last genre is drama. We only took one drama. So a drama, another word for drama is play. So what is it? It's a story that is taken and can be acted out. What is the meaning of act out? Here, you see a stage here, right? So sometimes people, they take a story and they make dialogue, sentences for the characters in the story to say. Why do they do that? They do that so students or kids can act it out in stage in school. Okay? So in a drama, it's a story that has characters, it has a setting, that means it has a place. Okay, it can be in the bedroom, in the living room, in the garden, wherever. Plot. The word plot means the events in the story. Okay, every story has a beginning, middle, and end. So the word plot means the events in the story. What happened in the beginning, what happened in the middle of the story, what happened at the end. Again, the last thing is dialogue. Here, in a drama, you'll find the name of the characters, and then you'll find the sentence that he or she will say. So the dialogue are the words that the characters say in the story. Okay? Here, like in the story about the bigger race, bigger shoes. Here we had 3 brothers, remember? And they had a problem. They had a race and their shoes were getting smaller. And then the bigger brother gave his small shoes to his younger brother, and the middle brother gave his small shoes to his younger. And then the bigger one bought a new pair of shoes. Here, this is a dialogue. Who will say these words? Timmy. So you'll find the name of the character and the words that he will say. I need new running shoes. I have a big race. So this is called the dialogue. Dialogue is the words that the characters will say. Okay? So those are the genres that we have this term.